anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
Welcome into the 2 o'clock hour. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia. Nothing but your calls and text at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
Welcome to the show on a Wednesday afternoon. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Weather really can't decide what it wants to do. Certain areas are getting some severe weather. I just got an alert a moment ago that I think it was Wayne County. It was under one of the counties. It was under a severe thunderstorm warning, but not too bad here in the Kanawha Valley. But meteorologist Brian Hughes tells us that pop-up storms are likely throughout the state wherever you live. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia on the way at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. I want to welcome into the show now Joe White, Executive Director of the West Virginia School Service Personnel Association. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me on, Dave.
Thank you for being here. All right, so news came. Now, I'm going to reference a story, and we have it posted on our websites, about Kanawha County, but this is not just a Kanawha County issue because it goes statewide. Kanawha County Board voted yesterday afternoon to eliminate positions within the district, and there in February, of course, the school officials announced they were going to cut 140 positions ahead of the upcoming, that's the 2026-2027 school year because of declining in enrollment, and it looks like 140 positions here are going to be eliminated. We're hearing this story a lot across the state of West Virginia, Joe.
Yes, you are. So let me say this, in case for those that really doesn't know this, just this current year and right before, we've had 15 school closures in West Virginia, and there's more to come. You know, as they lose enrollment, the schools will continue to close. And I have to say this, Dave, that probably in all my years working with WVSSPA, as far as cutting employees, as we call layoff season, this is the highest year, which with the Department of Education website that people can look, over 2,600 overages, out of formula positions in West Virginia. And I look for this year to be over 2,000 cuts statewide.
Now, explain that, because we hear that term a lot, overages and out of position. Explain what that is to people.
So in the state of West Virginia, the way that it is set up, and this is the easiest way to explain it, funding comes into the county school system based on the number of enrolled students in the county. Just like service personnel, they are directly tied to, and let me explain service personnel for those that don't know. That's all your non-teaching positions. That's maintenance, custodians, secretaries, cooks, aides, all of those, the non-teaching positions. They are funded, their positions are funded on the number of students enrolled for the county. So when the students leave, go to school in a different area or go homeschooled or charter schools, the county loses that funding for those positions, which makes them over formula,
right?
Basically.
And it's a difficult decision on everybody involved but I'm just wondering, what is the leading cause of this? Because we know West Virginia's losing population. We're starting to show some signs, and especially in certain. That's the problem, though. It only seems to be in certain areas that we're getting more people moving in. But there is that. But there's also more, I guess, Joe, alternatives other than I mentioned earlier, other than the classic county brick and mortar schools like you and I went to. There's different. What's the main reason?
One of the main reasons, not just that West Virginia is losing people, we know they're losing people, but now with the open enrollment of Hope Scholarship, now people get mad when I discuss this, but with the open enrollment of Hope Scholarship, all of those students now would qualify for the Hope Scholarship, which is money that comes directly out of the system. So, and don't quote me on the exact amount, but anywhere between $275 to $290 million is going into the Hope Scholarship. So those are positions that some of those were positions that were in the public school system, where that money now leaves the public school system and goes in to micro school or homeschool or any other kind of school such as that. And it has a drastic impact on public schools.
Talking again with Joe White. Joe is the executive director of the West Virginia School Service Personnel Group. There would be parents listening to this, Joe, across the state of West Virginia that would say, well, these are my tax dollars and I can choose how I want for my kids to be educated.
Yes, they are. And many of them have expressed that to me personally. And that's fine. I'm not against homeschool. I'm not against charter schools. That's happened. That's done. I've got opinions on it. What I'm against is taxpayer money that is directed for public schools to be used for private schools, for homeschools. And in my opinion, not all of them, but in my opinion, a lot of them are not educated to the degree that they should be. There's not accountability. But I also feel that it's against our Constitution. Article 12 of the West Virginia Constitution, I don't think it's an option. And I do predict in the near future that a large group of parents will be seeking court action on this method.
In Kanawha County, we know that, or we were told that there was 140 positions that were going to be eliminated, but we're also told that that's not necessarily jobs, it's just positions. And I know that sounds like the dumbest thing in the world to say, but hear me out. Is what they're saying is that those positions are going to be eliminated. Many of those employees may find other positions. To that, you would say what?
I would say most of those will be cut. Listen, I'm 61 years old now, and I don't play the political game too well. Most of those are actually going to be cuts. Now, they try to word it where there'll be other positions now. It is possible, and it's happened in a lot of counties, Dave, that people leave. They have tenure, they can retire, so they can retire and somebody else steps in that position. So, yes, that does happen. People look for employment elsewhere, and there's a position available. But a lot of them will be absolute, as what they call in the private world, laid off. That's what will happen.
Where do we go from here? I mean, we just wrapped up the legislative session. I want to ask you briefly about the legislative session, your take on everything. But what does the future of public education and the group and the people that you work with, what does it look like going forward for you?
It looks like we're going to have some uphill climbs and uphill battles. Here's what we have to do. They need, and thank you for asking, the legislature, well, they stand there with their mic and their flag behind them and all this good stuff. And if they want to take education seriously, they're going to have to take education seriously. We have an antiquated school aid formula. Actually, I was on a phone call, 3 phone calls today. I'm setting up a work group panel. We are going to meet often, and we're going to come up with a funding solution and try to get it introduced in the legislature. We can't keep piecemealing it. That's what we're doing, Dave. They're going in there. One of the legislatures has an idea. They do something with the school aid funding. They put it in there. They add it to another conglomerate of school aid formula books. What they need is a formula that's not antiquated, that is needs-based. I gave you an example just a while ago of one student. They've already spent in excess of $500,000 for that student this year currently for education because of the needs. They need to look at this. They need to sit down. They need to work on the school aid formula where it's not just tailored to this is how much you get per student, to the needs of the county. And personally, I'm putting together a work group now that we can work on this and hand it to them. Say, hey, here's a solution. They can either go for it or not.
Are you hopeful that'll happen, though? Because, Joe, I mean, let's be honest. You've been doing this for a long time. I have heard the word school aid formula and revisions to such for decades now.
I have heard it. I'm like you. I've heard it for over 20 years that I've heard it often. If they want to fix it, if they want to move forward, this is what they have to do. Instead of standing there in the Senate chambers and say, making education a centerpiece, let's really work on making education a centerpiece. This is our greatest resource in the state, is our youth. We have to do what's right, but also not just to youth. I've got to say this. The school systems are employers. People rely on these jobs. They rely on this insurance. They rely on this income, and it's a twofold system, and it has to work hand in hand together. So do I think it'll happen? We're going to give them an offer. We're going to give them a document that says this can help. They either take it or they don't. This year, you didn't ask me personally, but this year, I think the session was a waste of money. It was just
why so?
They did very little. They spent hours and hours debating bills that should never have been done, and they never moved anything forward as far as for water in some of our counties in West Virginia, for foster children, for schools. They never moved any of that forward, and I just think it was a waste of time. My opinion.
All right. Well, that's why you're here, to give your opinion.
Now, you might not get good comments about that, but that's my opinion.
Joe White, always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend, Executive Director of the West Virginia School Service Personnel. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We'll talk again soon. We're going to take a break. We're going to head down to Huntington because the Marshall University women's basketball team, they got a big victory the other night, and they are out in Arkansas. We'll talk to Bill Cornwell, who keeps a close eye on what's going on down there in Huntington. We'll talk to Billy C. when we come back. And after 2:30, it's Open Line West Virginia. Plus, just added, we got some severe weather rolling through some parts of the state. Meteorologist Brian Hughes is going to stop by as well. You're listening to Metro News Midday. We're coming back.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. State of art. We do it all. Restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
There's often an assumption that my nasal congestion, my sneezing, my runny nose, these are just things that I have to live with. A lot of times patients will tell me, I've tried every allergy medication, every nasal spray, I've done it all, doc. And then I'll frequently say, what about this? You need to come to the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center. If those things haven't worked, there are new options, new treatments. There's probably something we can do to help. You don't just have to live with those symptoms.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Kanawha Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All-new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All-new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Kanawha Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
With Metro News Hotline, if it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Kanawha GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Kanawha GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Of West Virginia.
Welcome back to the show. 2:22 on a Wednesday afternoon. Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. There's lots of hoopla in the jewel city of Huntington over this Marshall University women's basketball team. Last 2 days, we've talked to the voice of the Thundering Herd, Steve Cotton, and we're going to get a different voice. Not that there's anything wrong with Steve Cotton's voice. It's a lovely voice, but we want another lovely voice. Billy Cornwell joins us right now. How are you doing, my friend?
Happy April Fool's Day to you, Dave.
See, I didn't intend that as an April Fool's joke when I was talking about you and Cotton having a lovely voice. You know.
By the way, I wanted to let you know before we get into the basketball thing that your friend and my partner, Big John, and I, we had a little April Fool's fun this morning. We did a West Virginia bar that we said was available at Sheetz and at Go-Mart, and we had our listeners call in with suggested flavors.
All right, and could I ask you what some of those flavors were?
Ramp,
okay.
potato chip, Tudor's biscuit, Red River, I think someone said Red River trout. I think they meant Cherry River. I don't know. Maybe Cherry River trout. I don't know.
Okay.
So we had a lot of interesting submissions on that for that little April Fool's joke we had.
Well, I'll tell you something that you can talk to my buddy Big John about, all right? You can tell him that Dave suggested that he get a Mentos flavor. He'll know what the story is. He'll know the story. Just say the Mentos.
I will. I'll take care of that.
All right.
Take care of that.
Let's talk about this buzz around the Marshall University women's basketball team, Billy.
Man, it has been crazy, Dave. Of course, you talked to Steve yesterday. Marshall got invited to this women's NIT. They had a very disappointing one-game trip to the Sun Belt Conference tournament after, having a couple of days by. And, you'd think, well, season's over, basically put everything up. But no, they got invited to this tournament. And not only that, they actually got a first-round bye. Then they opened up a week ago from Monday, beat Maryland-Baltimore County. Then they had to go on the road in the round of 16, went up to Youngstown State and thoroughly thrashed Youngstown State. And then on Monday night, in front of well over 2,000 people at the Henderson Center. Hard to believe we're sitting in the Henderson Center on the 30th of March watching basketball, but we are, and it was a huge, loud crowd. And Marshall beat the young ladies from the West Point, held them scoreless in the fourth quarter on the way to the victory. But tonight they play down against the Sun Belt Conference team that they beat earlier in the season. That is the Red Wolves of Arkansas State. Arkansas State lost in Huntington on Valentine's Day, of all things, Dave, by 8 points. They put up 53-point shots in that game. Didn't help them any. They still lost. But tonight they host the Herd, and the hope is if Marshall can somehow go down there to Arkansas State and get a win, could they host the WNIT championship game on Saturday? That game would be at 3 o'clock. And I know that Marshall Athletic Department people have put a bid in just in case, because that's how you get home games in this tournament. Basically, it's kind of a pay-to-play situation. And Marshall certainly has stepped up, and should they win tonight, they have put a sound bid in to get a chance to host the championship game at the Henderson Center on Saturday afternoon.
And then you mentioned, that they were a very quick one and done. The Marshall Thundering Herd ladies team was in the Sun Belt Conference tournament. And then somehow Coach Julie Folks has just kind of got them ramped up to say, okay, forget about that. we're going big time right now. I mean, I don't know what she has said to these ladies that's got them pumped up and playing like they are now. But man, they're just playing lights out. Especially when you look at that, as you said, that Army game the other night when they actually trailed at one point, but then they come back and Army goes scoreless in the fourth quarter. I mean, something's in the water there at the Henderson Center, man.
Well, it was weird, Marshall was down by 4 at the end of the third quarter, and it was a very competitive game. It was a tight game. At one point, Army led by 10, and then again, they don't score again in the ball game. They go scoreless in the fourth quarter. This actually happened twice for Marshall this year. They held Eastern Kentucky scoreless at a game back in November that was played at Transylvania University in Lexington, Kentucky. So they can buckle down defensively when they want to. This Marshall team has 26 wins. That equals the school record that was set 2 years ago when Coach Kim Caldwell was there. Of course, who's at Tennessee now. So they got a chance to set a new school record with a win tonight, a 27th win. And they're going against a team who already has 27 wins in Arkansas State. But they know they could beat Arkansas State. They've already done it. And we'll just see what happens. Again, it would just be almost a dream situation. They go down there and win tonight and then get a chance on the home floor to host the championship game with this WNIT.
Yeah, indeed. What else is making news in Huntington these days, Billy?
Well, the police department announced a really interesting program yesterday. They've had problems in Huntington in the past and in other cities of people who have cognitive problems getting lost. And this is children, this is adults. Well, they have got a new system where you basically anybody in Kanawha County through the Huntington Police Department can get. It's almost like a tracker. And again, these are not just for anybody. These are for people that who are functional but may have some cognitive issues. And just to keep track of them and make sure that they're not getting lost or getting in a bad situation. You can get these, and from what I understand, they're absolutely free. Contact the Huntington Police Department, and I believe the name of the program is Blue Light the Way Home. It's a pretty interesting little program, and they have introduced that.
All right. Well, Bill, it's always a pleasure to talk to you to get caught up on everything going on in Huntington, especially with this Marshall University women's team. We'll be wishing them the best of luck tonight. And fingers crossed, as you said, they may just get that home game coming up on Saturday at the CAM.
Well, like I said, if they win tonight, the bid is in with the WNIT people. And from my understanding, it's a healthy bid saying we want to host the doggone game on Saturday.
All right. Coach Billy Cornwell. I'll go ahead and call you Coach because you coach Big John all the time. Billy Cornwell, appreciate you being here, my friend. Thanks a lot.
All right. Good to hear from you, Dave.
Absolutely. Bye. All right. We'll take a break. We're going to get a check on the weather. Meteorologist Brian Houston. We got some severe weather rolling through certain areas of West Virginia. So we're going to talk to meteorologist Brian Houston about that. Then we'll get to your calls and text on Open Line West Virginia. 1-800-765-TALK, 1-800-765-8255, or text 304-TALK-304. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. I'm Dave Allen alongside Stephanie Pauly and Ryan Nicholson, our producers. We will be back after this. And now we'll go to the Metro News anchor desk for a check of local news. You're listening to Midday on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. Amazon moving packages out of its new large center in Raleigh County. There was a ribbon cutting there earlier today with U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito, Governor Patrick Morrisey, Congresswoman Carol Miller on hand. Miller gave a shout out to Amazon.
Thank you, Amazon, for what you've done. Thank you for having the foresight to be in West Virginia and understand that we want to work. We are loyal. We are wonderful employees.
Read more at WVMetroNews.com. The closed Novellas plant in Fairmont may not be closed much longer. Keber Americas, a subsidiary of Asan Aluminum, has purchased the plant, which makes foil aluminum. Asan is the second largest manufacturer of foiled aluminum in Europe. The company says the purchase of the plant further strengthens its position in the global aluminum industry. The company looking for approval to put a data center in Berkeley County says it wants to be a good neighbor. QTS Executive Vice President of Utility Innovation, Dado Slezak, spoke at a forum last night at Shepherd University.
We want to go where people want us, and we don't know where they want us unless we show up and we listen. We go for lunches. We have several people in the room toward our facilities. We show people what the data center actually looks like. We have conversations, listen to what's bothering you, what would you like to have more or less of.
You can watch the discussion on the Metro News television app. You're listening to Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Managing your money and planning for the future can be challenging. Huntington Bank can help. I'm Matt Harris, a local Huntington Wealth Team member right here in West Virginia. We help people like you navigate the market and your life changes. Join us for Money Minutes this Thursday at 3:45 on Hotline as Huntington Bank's local wealth management team provides insight on this week's hottest market topics and how they might impact you. Be sure to catch Money Minutes this Thursday at 3:45 on Metro News Hotline.
Looking to advance your career without putting life on hold? Earn your MBA from Glenville State University in as little as 18 months. Choose from in-demand concentrations like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and healthcare administration. Whether you're leading teams, analyzing data, or protecting digital systems, our programs are designed for working professionals who want flexibility and results. Take the next step with an MBA from Glenville State University. Learn more and apply today at glenville.edu.
A former correctional officer at the Southern Regional Jail in West Virginia has pleaded guilty for his role in a conspiracy in which he and other correctional officers would use unreasonable force against inmates, including pretrial detainees. This word from the U.S. Department of Justice in the case of Michael Pack. It's possible we should be hearing later today decisions from Governor Morrissey on more than 100 bills passed by the legislature, yet to get a decision from him. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Jeff Jenkins.
Ask yourself what you will miss more, your children or cigarettes. As long as I can remember, my mother smoked. She died from lung cancer when I was 16. I could not take the chance of continuing smoking and not being here for my daughter. I know how much I needed my mom still, and I didn't realize it until I had lost her.
You're not just quitting for yourself. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. 26 away from 3 o'clock. You had a child who's a junior in high school in the state or knows someone that does. An opportunity to win a full ride to West Virginia Wesleyan. Room, board, tuition, and fees all included. 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. Deadline is May 3rd. Details available at WVMetroNews.com. WVMetroNews.com. Application deadline is May 3rd. And again, it is brought to you by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. We will get to Open Line West Virginia coming up momentarily. 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. Before we get to all that, though, I do want to welcome into the show just quickly meteorologist Brian Hughes. Good afternoon, sir. You're keeping a close eye on the weather because that's what you do.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of what I do around here on occasion. Among
other things.
Right. I'm like a monkey spinning plates sometimes.
Other duties as assigned. All right.
Yes.
So what are we looking at?
We've got a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued that includes northern Logan County into sections of Boone County, as well as northern Mingo County. And, what we've got here is a thunderstorm. This thunderstorm is capable of producing some pretty decent hail right now. That thunderstorm warning was issued. I'm looking at 60-mile-per-hour winds possible, heading right for Chapmanville. Mm-hmm. I mean, Chapmanville is just dead on for the worst of the storm. Up to 1-inch hail, so that's going to put it around a quarter size, and it's moving off to the east-northeast at 28 miles per hour. The affected counties, again, are Boone, Lincoln, Logan, Mingo, and actually far southeastern portions of Wayne County. This complex is actually across parts of southern West Virginia, and it extends into southeast Kentucky. We've got other thunderstorms that are, around just south of New Martinsville, some west of Clarksburg, a couple of those west of Morgantown, and everything is moving off to the east-northeast. I will mention that the thunderstorm that's heading towards Moundsville and the Moundsville area, Wheeling, that region, that one does have some rotation on it. If we did see anything that would have been, might even come close to tornadic, it would be back across the northern panhandle. Other thunderstorms down south of Hinton and southwest of Lewisburg, but we're going to have some off and on thunderstorms that could be severe. Hail and damaging wind would be the primary threats today, but there's a lot of lightning with this storm down across that one that's warned down there west of Chapmanville.
What's our timeline on this as far as, continuing throughout the day?
Continuing all...
And the evening.
Yeah, it goes all throughout the afternoon, evening, and into the nighttime hours. Tomorrow, the showers will be off and on, not as many. But, most of us, the interesting part, most of the forecast models yesterday were looking at 80s today. I've got, I think, Clarksburg is the only one. It's at like 79. Everybody else is going to stay in the 70s today. Forecast models yesterday. My forecast model, you saw that this morning, backed off the temperatures. It said 76, maybe up to 78 at best. Mm-hmm. And so the clouds have kept us back in that regard, not warming up as much. But, if we were a touch warmer, if we were 80, 82, 83 degrees, this would be a much, much bigger mess. But I'm getting a new scan that's coming in right now. Just want to look at that storm headed for Chapmanville. And, there's a hail core that is, it's right there just to the southwest of Chapmanville. If anything, it's going to come right at Chapmanville or just on the north side near Big Creek as well.
All right. And, so the primary threat, you mentioned the hail, but also high winds, but tornadic activity seems to be a little, very, very limited.
Right. Yeah. Matter of fact, actually, that storm that is west-southwest of Moundsville, it's out around Louisville and Woodsfield, around Ohio 800. That one has a rotation signature on it right now, but we do not have anything that's saying, that there's tornadic problems with it. So it's just stuff we got to keep watching as we go through the afternoon and into the evening hours because things could get a little dicey. I do see rotation in that storm back there in Ohio, southwest of Moundsville, but what the trend has been over the last month, anything that's been in parts of eastern Ohio, in that area has rotated more in Ohio, and as it gets to the Ohio River, starts to fade away.
All right. Meteorologist Brian Hughes keeping us updated. Appreciate you being here, my friend.
Sounds good. Yes.
Thanks a lot. Let's get to Open Line West Virginia. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text says, Dave, nice 5-man electrical band reference yesterday. I try. They used to call me obscure reference man. Was talking about political signs yesterday, and I think I made some reference to the 5-man electrical band's hit song from 1971, Signs Everywhere the Sign, redone in the early 1990s by Tesla. I do what I can. I got a head full of nothing. Text says, when an NBA player loses his job simply for espousing his Christian faith, then it's a whole lot easier for people to believe posts about the Bible ban. The country has lost its moral compass. I was referencing earlier, Amanda and I were talking with Hoppy Kercheval, who did a commentary today, and it is April Fool's Day, so continue. So remember that. And Hoppy did a really good commentary. You can read it at wvmetronews.com, where he talked about the first AI candidate in West Virginia, somebody running for House of Delegates or something running for House of Delegates out of Bond County, and it was all AI because it's April 1st. And we kind of went down this rabbit hole of things that you constantly see on social media that aren't necessarily true. And I talked about last night, this was making its rounds about Bible bans, so on and so forth. I to all due respect to a texter, I don't know what you are referring to about an NBA player losing their job for simply, your words, espousing their Christian faith. I'm not familiar with the story. You want to send me an article or something, and I will educate myself on it. Text says, thank you for having Joe White on. I don't know him, but he speaks the truth. Thanks for always presenting both sides of the issues, Dave. I have known Joe White for quite some time. Joe White interviewed at the top of the 2 o'clock hour. He's the executive director of the West Virginia School Personnel Association. And I don't even know how long I've known Joe. He's a good Logan County guy, for 30 years or so, I guess. And that's the thing. It was kind of funny. He wouldn't mind me telling you this. As Joe was leaving, when we went to the commercial break, I walked him out, and he said, Dave, he said, the older I get, I just don't have time for political correctness. That's one of the things I like about Joe. And you never have to wonder where you stand. He's got major issues right now when it comes to a lot of these school systems that are eliminating jobs. And look, I get it. I mean, I don't want to be on a board of education right now. We saw these jobs mentioned in Kanawha County last night. There's others around the state. It's difficult. I don't envy them one bit. Tex says, I rarely say good things about the current legislature, but they did a good job in getting rid of the stupid transfer rules. Kids should have to play for the schools where they live. Tex says, thank you for having Mr. Anderson on. He's really doing a fantastic job. Big fan. That was a reference to John Anderson, who was nominated to be this week's wonderful West Virginian for the job that he's doing at Capitol High School right now. I do not know Mr. Anderson personally. First time I've actually talked to him is when we interviewed him today, but I do know that here in the Kanawha Valley specifically, I hear good things. Tex says, everybody talks about the economy being so bad. Here's a wild idea. How about you go to work? Literally everyone is hiring, and you guys are even advertising jobs on the radio. Get off your butts and go to work. Tex says, the Kanawha County Board of Education made decisions that prioritize extending the superintendent's position with a significant financial package over addressing the educational needs of students, including those with IEPs and modifications, which may lead to non-compliance issues next year. This is particularly concerning given the cuts made to the budget. Such actions raise questions about the board's commitment to student welfare. While Kanawha County Board states students' IEP minutes will still be met, they are not looking at behavior plans or accommodations. A certain group of students are being discriminated against as being the only minority and low-incidence disability without a full-time teacher as compared to their peers. Tex says, good luck to the Marshall women's basketball team. You got this. We are Marshall. 243, Open Line, West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. We'll take a break and come back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Kanawha Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Kanawha Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
There's often an assumption that my nasal congestion, my sneezing, my runny nose, these are just things that I have to live with. A lot of times patients will tell me, I've tried every allergy medication, every nasal spray, I've done it all, doc. And then I'll frequently say, what about this? You need to come to the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center. If those things haven't worked, there are new options, new treatments. There's probably something we can do to help. You don't just have to live with those symptoms.
and better deals at Kanawha GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Kanawha GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kurtzville. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talkline on Metro News Television.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Welcome back to the show. 13 minutes away from 3 o'clock. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. 1-800-765-TALK. 1-800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK 304. Let me kind of keeping a close eye on the weather here, but there was a statement that was released earlier in the day from President Trump, and we'll get back to your text, and I got some more on the weather too. This was from Truth Social earlier today. Iran's new regime president, much less radicalized and far more intelligent than his predecessors, has just asked the United States of America for a ceasefire. We will consider when Hormuz Strait is open, free, and clear. Until then, we're blasting Iran into oblivion, or, as they say, back to the Stone Ages. Signed, President Donald J. Trump. Meteorologist Brian Hughes was on a little bit earlier, tells me that severe thunderstorm watch until 8 o'clock for most of West Virginia except for the eastern panhandle. Now, obviously, there's going to be some of those areas that are going to fall under warnings, but the bottom line is, because we're a statewide show, most of West Virginia under a severe thunderstorm watch until 8 o'clock tonight, except for the eastern panhandle. And as Brian said, certain areas of southern West Virginia seem to be getting hit hard. The Chapmanville area in Logan County was one of those. Also, more toward the west, Wayne County was hit earlier, and we're seeing some alerts go through here in the Charleston area as well. 12 minutes away from 3 o'clock, Texas. Florida guy here, Dave. Don't know who's more ungodly, the NBA or the NFL. Both punish Christian players or let them go, yet celebrate BLM filth and Pride Month sewage. Be sure your sin will find you out. The ultimate words, quote, "Depart from me, I never knew you," says the texter. Text says, someone on the show said it recently. Everyone wants to complain about AI, but no one is willing to stop using it or to put down their phones. You have to pay the piper, says the texter. Text Dave, if you are on Social Security, you can only make $26,000 a year. I have several older employees who have quit when they hit this mark. 1-800-765-TALK, phone number, text 304-TALK 304. Great April Fool's Day commentary from Hoppy today. It was. I actually heard it this morning. You can go read it, if you wish, on the website. I heard it the old-fashioned way, though, on the radio. Text says, you crack me up with your videos, Dave. I don't always agree with your opinions, but what you're doing with your cancer is inspirational. Keep fighting. I appreciate it. I'm basically making fun of it. That's what I'm doing, because I basically make fun of everything. Defense mechanism, they tell me. Text says, thought they had a teacher shortage and other workers like bus drivers. Now they want to do away with their job. Someone is lying. Text, data centers are coming to your town whether you like it or not. We, the people, have no say. Well, there have been and there will be continued meetings, community meetings. I know there's been several in different areas. There was one packed out in the Eastern Panhandle just a couple of weeks ago. I know there was a couple of huge ones down in Mingo County about a proposed data center down there. So if you are so against them, as I said, get in touch with your legislators and attend the public meetings. 10 minutes away from 3. Text says, Did you see the post from Delegate Krause bragging about getting rid of brown water on her estate? Must be nice. Go tell that to the people of McDowell County. Well, I've known Delegate Kathy Hess Krause for some time. I have never been to her, quote, estate. Knowing Delegate Kathy Hess Krause like I do, I doubt very seriously it's an estate. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying I don't think she would probably characterize it as an estate. I don't know. I've never been there, but Texas Dave, need to get rid of everyone on the board. They won't stand up for the public schools and fight the state on private and charter schools or give money that I paid in taxes. Well, I will say this, that there are some school board seats up in various counties around the state of West Virginia, and you certainly have that right. If you don't like what the Kanawha County Board is doing or any other Board of Education, there are seats open, and Election Day is nigh. We don't use the word nigh enough anymore. Try to include that more in my repertoire. Text says the elections for this year are going to be a bloodbath for Republicans on the national level. Mark my words, says the texter. So, says the texter, state workers get a half day off for Good Friday. My experience as a former state worker is most will take the full day and then either take off the day before or take off Monday. This is why nothing gets done in state government. Well, I would say this to the texter, and I appreciate the text. They have the days to take. And so that's not their fault. I mean, as a state employee, one of the trade-offs, and full disclosure, I used to be a state employee. One of the trade-offs is that you get a lot more time off than what the private sector does. And at least in the past, the benefits were better. That's one of the ways that's, in many cases, and there are exceptions, state workers didn't make as much money. But if you have the days to take, they're going to take them. And you're right. The governor yesterday announcing that Good Friday would be a half day off. So the majority, I won't say the majority, a great number will take the entire day off. And if they have the time to take, they'll also take Thursday off or maybe a portion of it, and they'll do Monday as well. It's their days. They can do what they want to with them, I guess. Text says, the layoffs among Kanawha County school employees just collateral damage in the war on public schools in the state. I'm sure the Republicans love it. All this hoopla, we're going to the moon again. Who cares? Get us clean drinking water, says the texter. Text says, hey, Dave, like you, I drove by the No Kings rally Saturday. I saw so many freaks and bearded ladies. I thought the circus was back in town. We'll wrap it up for Open Line West Virginia for today. Mr. Weekly and the cast of thousands, or at least 3 or 4, coming up on many of these same Metro News stations. We'll close out this show after this.
Looking to advance your career without putting life on hold? Earn your MBA from Glenville State University in as little as 18 months. Choose from in-demand concentrations like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and healthcare administration. Whether you're leading teams, analyzing data, or protecting digital systems, our programs are designed for working professionals who want flexibility and results. Take the next step with an MBA from Glenville State University. Learn more and apply today at glenville.edu.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Kanawha GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Kanawha GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
There's often an assumption that my nasal congestion, my sneezing, my runny nose, these are just things that I have to live with. A lot of times patients will tell me, I've tried every allergy medication, every nasal spray, I've done it all, doc. And then I'll frequently say, what about this? You need to come to the WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center. If those things haven't worked, there are new options, new treatments. There's probably something we can do to help. You don't just have to live with those symptoms.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Kanawha Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Kanawha Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Welcome back to the show. Final text of the day says, I miss Brian Hughes. I'm keeping up with him on Facebook, but I would like to have more information about what he's doing. We would like to know what Brian Hughes is doing, to be honest.
You're just encouraging him.
He just, he sells air. That's what he does. He sells air here. He sells advertising and does weather things. And that's what Brian Hughes does. Hey, this story, and I want to make sure that we get this in here to make Stephanie happy. Hershey, announced Wednesday it is going to use its classic recipes weekly for all of its Reese's products starting next year. I saw the interview, a change coming after the grandson of the founder of Reese's criticized the company for shifting to cheaper ingredients. So basically, it's the new Coke of the chocolate and peanut butter world.
Man, am I wrong? I really didn't notice that much of a difference.
Yeah.
Did you?
I just want it to be pronounced correctly. It's Reese's. It is not Reese. There is no such thing as a Reese cup.
Give me a Reese's cup.
No, it's Reese's.
Okay.
And there's no S in Kroger's either. So keep that in mind.
I'm going Kroger's.
I'll work on Chapmanville and Sissonville for you later. What you got on the show today?
Well, we're going to talk about Artemis 2.
Okay.
All
right.
We're launching that bad boy, hopefully.
Okay.
Today, almost 6:30. So we'll talk a little bit about that.
All right. Hotline coming up on many of the same Metro News radio stations. Producer Stephanie Polly, Ryan Nicholson, thank you so much. We'll be back to do it again tomorrow. Keep a close eye on the weather, and we'll keep a close eye on Brian Hughes because we also want to know what he does.
Yeah.
Till tomorrow, have fun and love somebody.